You are not the body or the mind is a concept that has been discussed by many spiritual teachers and philosophers throughout history. The idea suggests that our true nature is not limited to the physical body or the mind, but is rather something beyond these transient aspects of ourselves. To understand this concept more deeply, we must first examine the nature of the body and the mind. The body is the physical vessel that we inhabit, and it is subject to the laws of nature and time. It is born, it grows, it ages, and eventually it dies. The mind, on the other hand, is the realm of thoughts, emotions, and sensations. It is constantly active, processing information, and generating thoughts and feelings. However, it too is subject to change and impermanence. Despite the fact that the body and mind are subject to constant change, there is something within us that remains constant and unchanging. This is our true nature, which is often referred to as the soul or the spirit. This is the aspect of ourselves that exists beyond the limitations of the body and the mind. One of the most powerful ways to access this deeper aspect of ourselves is through meditation. Meditation allows us to quiet the constant chatter of the mind and to become aware of the underlying stillness and peace that exists within us. Through this practice, we can begin to connect with our true nature and to realize that we are not the body or the mind, but rather something much deeper and more profound. Another way to understand this concept is to consider the idea of consciousness. Consciousness is the awareness that we have of ourselves and the world around us. It is the experience of being alive and aware. While the body and the mind are both vehicles for consciousness, they are not consciousness itself. Rather, consciousness is the underlying essence that animates the body and the mind. One of the key benefits of recognizing that we are not the body or the mind is that it allows us to detach from the constant fluctuations of life. When we identify with the body and the mind, we become attached to our thoughts, emotions, and physical experiences. We become identified with the ups and downs of life, and we suffer when things don't go as we want them to. However, when we recognize that we are not the body or the mind, we can step back and observe these experiences without becoming attached to them. This allows us to experience greater peace and equanimity in the face of life's challenges. The concept of you are not the body or the mind is not a new one, and it has been discussed by spiritual teachers and philosophers for centuries. However, it is only in recent years that science has begun to catch up with this idea. In particular, research in the field of neuroscience has shown that the brain is not the seat of consciousness, but rather a tool that consciousness uses to interact with the world. One of the key findings of this research is that the brain is highly plastic, which means that it can change and adapt in response to new experiences. This suggests that our thoughts and emotions are not fixed and immutable, but rather are shaped by our experiences and the environment around us. This is an important insight, as it suggests that we have the power to shape our thoughts and emotions, and to change our experience of the world. In conclusion, the concept of you are not the body or the mind is a powerful one that has the potential to transform our lives. By recognizing that we are not limited to the physical body or the mind, we can connect with our true nature and experience a greater sense of peace, joy, and equanimity. Whether through meditation, self-reflection, or scientific inquiry, there are many paths to discovering this deeper aspect of ourselves. The human body is a complex and intricate system that is responsible for carrying out a vast array of functions. From breathing and digestion to movement and reproduction, the body is constantly working to maintain homeostasis and keep us alive. We will explore the nature of the body, including its structure, functions, and the various systems that make it up. Structure of the body. The human body is made up of trillions of cells that are organized into tissues, organs, and systems. At the most basic level, cells are the building blocks of the body, and they are responsible for carrying out all of the functions necessary to keep us alive. Cells vary in size and shape, and they can be specialized to perform specific functions. Tissues are groups of cells that work together to perform a specific function. There are four main types of tissues in the body: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous. Epithelial tissue covers the surfaces of the body, while connective tissue provides support and structure. Muscular tissue is responsible for movement, and nervous tissue is responsible for communication between cells and organs. Organs are groups of tissues that work together to perform a specific function. For example, the heart is an organ made up of muscle tissue that pumps blood throughout the body. The lungs are organs made up of epithelial tissue that facilitate respiration. The brain is an organ made up of nervous tissue that is responsible for processing information and controlling the body's functions. Systems of the body. The human body is organized into several systems, each of which is responsible for a specific set of functions. These systems work together to maintain homeostasis and keep us alive. The major systems of the body include the respiratory system. This system is responsible for bringing oxygen into the body and removing carbon dioxide. It includes the lungs, trachea, bronchi, and diaphragm. The cardiovascular system. This system is responsible for circulating blood throughout the body. It includes the heart, blood vessels, and blood. The digestive system. This system is responsible for breaking down food and absorbing nutrients. It includes the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. The urinary system. This system is responsible for removing waste products from the body. It includes the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The muscular system. This system is responsible for movement and support. It includes skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. The nervous system. This system is responsible for communication between cells and organs. It includes the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The endocrine system. This system is responsible for regulating hormones and metabolism. It includes the pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, and ovaries/testes. Functions of the body. The body is responsible for carrying out a wide range of functions, including respiration. The body must take in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide in order to keep cells alive. Digestion. The body must break down food and absorb nutrients in order to provide energy and support growth. Circulation. The body must circulate blood in order to transport oxygen, nutrients, and waste products throughout the body. Movement. The body must be able to move in order to carry out daily activities and avoid injury. Reproduction. The body must be able to reproduce in order to perpetuate the species. Communication. The body must be able to communicate between cells and organs in order to maintain homeostasis. Metabolism. The body must be able to regulate metabolism in order to maintain. About the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind has been a subject of philosophical and scientific inquiry for centuries. It is a complex and multifaceted concept that is difficult to define and understand. We will explore the nature of the mind, including its functions, structure, and the various theories that attempt to explain its nature. Functions of the mind. The mind is responsible for a wide range of functions, including perception, thought, emotion, memory, and consciousness. These functions work together to create our experience of the world and ourselves. Perception is the process by which we interpret and make sense of sensory information from the environment. This includes sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. The mind is responsible for processing this information and creating our experience of the world. Thought is the process by which we generate ideas and concepts. The mind is responsible for this process, which includes reasoning, problem-solving, decision-making, and creativity. Emotion is the process by which we experience and express feelings. The mind is responsible for this process, which includes joy, anger, sadness, fear, and love. Memory is the process by which we store and retrieve information. The mind is responsible for this process, which includes short-term memory, long-term memory, and working memory. Consciousness is the state of being aware of our surroundings, thoughts, and emotions. The mind is responsible for this process, which includes attention, awareness, and self-reflection. Structure of the mind. The structure of the mind is a complex and multifaceted concept. It is generally divided into two main components, the conscious and the unconscious. The The conscious mind is the part of the mind that we are aware of and can control. It is responsible for our thoughts, emotions, and actions. This includes our conscious thoughts and perceptions, as well as our deliberate actions. The unconscious mind is the part of the mind that we are not aware of and cannot control. It is responsible for our automatic thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This includes our instincts, habits, and involuntary bodily functions. The structure of the mind is also divided into different levels, including the conscious, preconscious, and unconscious levels. The conscious level includes our current thoughts and perceptions, while the preconscious level includes thoughts and memories that can be easily accessed with a little effort. The unconscious level includes thoughts and memories that are not easily accessible and may be repressed or forgotten. Theories of the mind. There are several theories that attempt to explain the nature of the mind, including the dualistic, materialistic, and functionalist theories. The dualistic theory suggests that the mind and the body are separate entities that interact with each other. This theory dates back to ancient Greek philosophy and was popularized by philosopher René Descartes. According to this theory, the mind is a non-physical entity that exists independently of the body. The materialistic theory suggests that the mind is a product of the physical brain and nervous system. According to this theory, all mental processes can be explained in terms of physical processes in the brain. This theory is supported by modern neuroscience, which has shown that mental processes are closely tied to brain activity. The functionalist theory suggests that the mind is a product of its functions, rather than its structure or physical properties. According to this theory, the mind is a set of processes that work together to produce our experience of the world. This theory is based on the idea that the mind is adaptive and serves a specific purpose in the context of evolution and survival. Conclusion. The nature of the mind is a complex and multifaceted concept that has been the subject of philosophical and scientific inquiry for centuries. It is responsible for a wide range of functions, including perception, thought, emotion, memory, and consciousness. The structure of the mind is divided.